What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 179. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011. You can drop a follow over there. You'll get notified when we go live with the podcast or other streams. Join us live, join us for the conversation, have some fun with us. But if you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. You can go over to YouTube and podcast services the very next week where it's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video in MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, any way you can support the show. Likes, shares, subscriptions, reviews, whatever it is. May seem small, but does help the channel grow, helps us out significantly. So if you could do that, if you have the time, we would love and appreciate you for it. So what are we talking about today for our fun variety show? Well, we're talking two different topics. We're talking some wrestling, because you know I love wrestling. And we're talking some video games, because you know I love video games. We're going to be talking about CM Punk and all that fun stuff, pros, cons, drama, etc. And we're going to be talking about The Last of Us Part 2, going into a full review and spoilers. I'll give you a heads up when we get to that point, as I completed the game recently and just kind of want to talk about it. So let's get on into the wrestling discussion. Let's talk about Mr. Punk. Let's talk about CM Punk and his return to AEW as of recording last night on AEW Collision, the brand new show they got going weekly every Saturday over on TNT? Question mark. Okay, so obviously everybody and anybody in the wrestling world, wrestling journalists, dirt sheets, wrestling fans, anybody with a voice YouTube thingamajig that they do here is talking about, well, was talking about, probably will still be talking about CM Punk coming back to AEW. What's good, what's bad, why they should, why they shouldn't, what's going on, drama. And, you know, why not jump on that bandwagon? No, that sounds stupid. I don't know. I feel like I wanted to talk about it too. Not that my opinion's going to be anything breaking the bank or bringing anything new to the table. It's just one of those things where I want to talk about it. It's wrestling stuff. It's interesting. And, you know, we just want things to be better, whether it's AEW, whether it's WWE, whether it's Impact, whether it's New Japan, whatever it is. Want people to do well, want people to be happy, want people to be successful. And I'm a mixed bag here, as I feel like a lot of people are. Or it's either, I don't know, people claim like, oh, you either love CM Punk or you hate CM Punk. There's no middle ground. And I think that's a misstatement. I don't feel like that's fair. Like, I can definitely see leaning a certain way, and that's valid. You know, your opinion is your opinion. Do your thing. But I think there's definitely pros and cons to this situation. And right now, I would say, yeah, I'm a little bit on the negative side of, like, my overall feelings of it right now. But I definitely can see there are also goods to this. So, Punk over the years has kind of seemed from a, you know, a viewer perspective, seems to be a little bit more arrogant than I guess I thought before. Maybe that's naive of me. Maybe it is. But used to love CM Punk. Enjoyed what he did in WWE. Obviously didn't know him too much in the Indies or Ring of Honor because I didn't check out that stuff at that time. But enjoyed his stuff in WWE. Enjoyed the ECW stuff. Enjoyed the Straight Edge Society stuff. Enjoyed, you know, the Voice of the Voiceless stuff and the pipe bomb, and that promo and where that character went and the Money in the Bank and in Chicago and leaving and then coming back and doing his thing there. Loved all of it. And then obviously he left. They had their disagreements. Totally fine. You know, hey, you do you. You don't feel that you're being used there properly, all that fun stuff. You got to do what you got to do. Totally fine. You know, all happy for him for sticking true to himself and moving forward. And then, yes, went to the UFC. Fortunately, didn't have a lot of success there, but hey, he did it, you know, good for you. And then he's gone from wrestling for what, like 10 years, something like that. And he comes back for WWE Backstage, gets a big pop there because, oh shit, he's back here and he's working actually with WWE, but he's hired by Fox. Blah. Semantics. And then AEW starts up. AEW is very successful. And then He goes to AEW. And you can't deny it. Very exciting that he came back. The reception there was insane. And it was like a moment in history, right? And for what it was, that first year in AEW was good. He was getting back in the ring. He looks great. He obviously has a very high bar for charisma and promo skills and stuff like that. Like, he delivered and made the product exciting. And it's another veteran that they brought in to kind of help the younger talent. Obviously, a household name people know, so it could bring more people into it and over. Very cool to see. We get the all-out situation. He beats Moxley for the title. We do the post-media scrum. And seemingly out of frustration, kind of goes off on his past with another wrestler. And he tried to support this person, had the fallout of the relationship, whatever. I don't know all the details, so I don't want to go into it. Talks about that, and he tears into the EVPs of the company, the wrestlers that helped establish the company first. Your Bucks, your Omega, goes into Hangman, and pretty much just doesn't hold anything back. And everybody's really confused because I literally watched it right before recording, watched it back. The first question from this journalist doesn't even ask about that situation first. The conversation goes that way. Punk decides to bring up the conversation himself. Apparently the journalist used to do improv. He used to do improv with that other wrestler, and then Punk goes on this story because of, I guess, recent reportings from dirt sheets and all that stuff. Like, oh, we haven't seen wrestler X. Is CM Punk involved with that? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It was a moment in time. Don't read everything, so I don't know. And it seems like out of frustration, once again, Punk lashed out, which in hindsight, I get. Okay, you're frustrated about something. There's a lot of people reporting what you feel is false information. Blah. You're getting back at them in the moment you think you can because it's a media scrum. They're all here, right? I get that. I can get why the frustration was there. And then he tears into, like I said, the EVPs. And after his scrum, his interview, apparently some type of interaction happens. We still don't even know fully what happens or went on, but he punches somebody, chair gets thrown, guy bites another guy, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. They all get they all get suspended. Everybody in the interaction for however long. Me, fan going to AEW during that September, I don't see any of them. Sad face. That's selfish. I didn't even need to say that. So anyways, they're all gone, right? They're doing their investigation and shit. I need to take some time off. The Bucks come back. Omega comes back. Punk's still gone. Fast forward to now. Punk's back. And it seems like they have compromised where they've created a whole new show in AEW for Punk and for anybody who has drama with anybody else in the locker room. Mixed bag on this. I think it's a good thing, Collision, because this is an opportunity for other wrestlers. More time, right? More time. You can spread it out, the wealth, instead of just doing the Wednesday show where you have the 2 hours there. Obviously, you had Rampage, but not a lot of people either watch Rampage or the storylines on Rampage are kind of dumb and it's not really interesting. This provides more of an opportunity for people who haven't been used to get an opportunity. I believe it's another 2-hour show. Shows what I know. And people who haven't been used. So Thunder Rosa being back is great. Scorpio Sky being back is great. I thought he was out with an injury, but who knows. Miro being back is great. Andrade El Idolo is great. You see these people getting opportunities that they did get glimpses of over in Dynamite, but now have a little bit more availability of time to do that. Great. Now, is this just a show created for people who have problems with on Dynamite? That's where I get a little bit shaky of like, oh, that's not great. So Punk's obviously got his issues with the Bucks. So he's over on this show. Andrade had former problems, which I thought were taken care of, but I don't know if they are, with Sammy Guevara. So he's on this show. Miro's got no problems. He's just there. Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. Didn't see eye to eye. I don't know if they've moved past their thing. I thought Thunder apologized. Whatever. From the perspective of the viewer, you could see how it's like this division line of like, okay, people have their problem, they're over here. People have their problem, they're over here. All speculation. All just, I don't know. Perceptions, reality. Who knows? It's just from the outside looking in, that's what it appears to be, right? And only time will tell. We've only had one show. If everything has been smoothed over, if everybody's moving forward and we're being professional on both sides, and we're good to go. If that's the case, great, you know. But right now, from 1 week and one show, this is all we can tell, right? So, iffy on that feeling. The CM Punk stuff. Watching the All Out media scrum again, once again, I'm a little bit more understanding in terms of frustration. People reporting false stuff on you, whatever it is that you may feel. I get that. And I appreciate him still standing up for himself. Once again, this is hindsight. In the moment, absolutely hated it. And I still kind of hate aspects of it now. You can see the owner of the company literally sitting next to him the whole time, just freaking out about what's going on, how things are being handled. Like, I understand you want to get that off your chest. I understand this may be the most opportune moment because all of the journalists are there in front of you and you feel blanket statement. You can make it out there and show how upset you are at this. But I don't know if it was the best move from a professional standpoint. Obviously, the fight backstage afterwards, definitely not. But I don't know. Like, with the WWE stuff, you thought, okay, maybe he's on to something. Things aren't right. And he's leaving to either better himself or make things better, whatever. Obviously, he didn't go back into the wrestling world until now, so he didn't do it in terms of that. But he didn't think things were fair, so he made it vocal and moved on. Here, it's almost a case of like, it happens once, shame on me. Happens again, shame on you. I don't know if that's the right context for that phrase. But like, to see all of this drama and stuff happen again, obviously it never got this bad in WWE where there were physical interactions that I know of. A little concerning, like, that you would want someone like this in your company where it's just like, I'm not saying everyone's got to get along. That's impossible. But everybody should be professional enough to work with each other, regardless of side, whatever it is, to move forward, work on what the company wants, whatever it is, right? And if ultimately you can't do that, then move on. That's fine. You got to do what's best for you. To have it this way where if, once again, big if, because I don't know, I'm not backstage, I'm not doing anything, I haven't been in any of these conversations. If they're just doing show A and show B because show A hates who's on show B and show B hates who's on show A and they can't work with each other, it's like, is it even worth all this drama, time, effort, expense, perception from the fan base, perception from anybody involved in the company, outside the company, whatever? Like, is it worth dealing with all this stuff just because, I don't know, the draw? And I guess you could say, to go back against that point or reply, like, everybody's talking about the company right now. Everybody's talking about the wrestlers. That's something right, you know, like, if people are talking about it, something's good. You're out there in the ether. You'd rather have people talking about you than no one's talking about you and no one cares. And it's like, yeah, that's fair. And I've heard like conversations brought up. I think it was What Culture Wrestling, of like how Shawn Michaels back in the day was kind of a dick, and we know he was a dick, but you kept him around because he could perform and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I get that. Like, Punk's a draw. There's no doubt about that. It's like Chicago's his hometown, so that's a little, hometown, so it's a little hard to give a fair analysis of how this will go week to week from the reception last night. But once again, time will tell. But yeah, even his promo last night, and granted, could all be a work if we're all getting work to be like, oh, he hates these people, blah, blah, blah. Like, hey, good on you. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You are suspending the disbelief, and you're getting me to buy into the storyline. If that's all it is, hey, great. If it's still just this anger and rage, I don't know if that energy is worth it. Like, if he just was going to get it off his chest last night, and then we're never going to address it again, we're going to move forward and do whatever we do on Collision, swell. If he's trying to set up this bad guy character, and one day maybe we get the FTR CM versus Elite match, like, oh shit. Like, I think it was Dax said, like, there's a lot of money that could be made there. Absolutely. Like, if everybody can move forward with that and work together, then yeah, you got gold on your hands. Good job. You took a shitty situation and you made it a great situation. But right now, still too early to tell. So, I don't know. It's a rough tightrope we're walking on right now. Of like, I can see the good in this situation. I can see the bad in this situation. And yeah, all I want for it is to be good. Because once again, all of these people involved, regardless of like Punk and Elite themselves, or, you know, if we're going to talk about Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, whatever side of the thing you're on right now, they're all talented and they got where they were for a reason. I just want them to continue to be successful and not be assholes about it. I guess. I don't know. Is the ultimate thing. And like I said, not everybody's going to like everybody. So it's one of those things where it's rough. It's, can you put the company before your ego or yourself and try and make something good out of it? And once again, if not, if you don't feel you can do that, that's okay. But just make that clear, like, nope, this isn't for me. Move on and find your success somewhere else. Because ultimately, you need to do what's best for you. Not go somewhere and ruin everyone else's thing. Or like bring anybody else down, because that's not going to help you in the slightest. It may help you in the moment, but that's not going to help anyone's perception of you or willing to work with you. And I don't know. I feel like I'm running in circles now, or talking in circles now. It's just a very stressful conversation, and I don't want it to be. Ultimately, all in all, I want what's best for everybody. I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to do well and move forward. And yeah, I thought I was going to be a little bit more heated about this and more one-sided, but I guess not. I guess I talked myself down. It just watching these things, the scrum again, like, I was getting frustrated of just like, it's not good. But also, I understand if that is going on and a lot of false information is going on around, or people are talking about you, because this isn't the first time dirt sheets journalists like, oh, this rumor's this, oh, this rumor's this, like, talk about a lot of stuff. Like, if you're talking the town, people are just going to say whatever they can or whatever they have to get their clicks, get their whatever. I mean, I guess you could say that right now. Not that I'm dropping any hot takes or anything like that, but like, oh, you're making content about them. So, once again, talking in circles. I'll end here. That's my quick talk. CM Punk.